Hello everyone, welcome to my knitting podcast. I am Tao and I'm a knitter, a sewist, and I own a knitting accessories brand called The Knitting Swan. In this podcast, I would like to talk to you about my recently finished objects, my current working progress on the things I'm working on right now, and also I would like to talk about the yarns that I use, the patterns that I use, and all such fun things. So this episode is mainly about summer knits. The reason is that it's been so hot and humid here in the UK. In England where I am, it's really unusual to get this humid. And I used to be someone who would always knit winter things in the summer. I treated summer as the time to work on things to wear when it started to turn cold. But this year I've been so inspired by beautiful projects and beautiful patterns that I saw on the internet. And so I've worked on several things that I would like to show you today. What I'm wearing right now is called the Lone Kami by Lone Kami by Yuka Tomioka, who is a Japanese designer, and she designs really beautiful feminine things. We all love Scandinavian designs, but I think when it comes to minimalist but still with a little bit of feminine edge, then Japanese designs are really wonderful for that. And I've knitted a few things by Yuka before, so when she released a test call for this knit, I thought that was the push that I needed to get into summer knitting. I knitted this monogamously for about 2 weeks on 3mm needles, and only 2 weeks, that was the time that I needed to finish this. And that was very quick. It was a personal record for me. So that completely changed my view on knitting on really small needles. And this turned out so beautifully. I love the pattern, even as a pattern that was still being test knitted. It was very clearly written. And the construction is very simple. It is basically a top with raglan increases right about here and at the back. Then you will need a tube basically way down. So very straightforward. I added some shaping for the body just because I'm curvier than most Japanese women. But that was the only change that I made, and it turned out really beautiful. So I love this, and the yarn that I used actually is not that summery. I use, let me see if I can find it. I use Avetta by Filcolana. It's a 4-ply superwash wool yarn. So it is not the most summer appropriate, but it works quite well. I did not feel very hot wearing this top at all. My husband is actually very confused. He's like, why do you knit summer things in wool? But it actually works really well. I have no complaint about this yarn. It didn't stretch, it grew a little bit during blocking, but very minimally. It could just be because of the stitches were being flattened out during blocking, and you could see that the hem of the top, it is not ripping, so it was curling up quite badly actually when I was knitting it, and I was quite scared. But then I pinned everything down. I literally pinned every little tricket here onto the mat, and it blocked out beautifully. So there's no worry about that. So after I finished this top, I got so inspired, and I really wanted to work on another summer top. You know, I'm a big fan of The Talented Mr. Ripley. It's one of my favorite movies, and I love the version with Matt Damon. I also love the French version with Alain Delon, both very beautiful, featuring amazing fashion. So something that I really like is the top that Dickie Greenleaf always wears in the movie. It looks sort of like a knitted or crochet top, polo shirt with buttons in front, and I wanted to make that. So I went about and looked for a pattern, and I found this one. It is a cardigan with really beautiful, I don't know if you call this broken rib, certainly broken 2x2 rib, and it is really beautiful, really airy. And this time I actually I went for a proper summer yarn. This one is Ficolana Mercy. I love Ficolana. They make such wonderful, affordable yarn. And this one is a yarn that is 50% cotton and 50% wool. And the result is that it's really fluffy, it's really beautiful. It's not too hot to wear, I don't think so. And it is lovely to work with. It's a bit splittier than wool, but I think that's inevitable if you're working with a cotton-based yarn, almost. So I don't know how this will turn out after being blocked, but I have a good feeling about it. As usual, I do some body shaping here because, again, I'm curvier than most Scandinavian or Japanese or Korean, in this case, models. But I think this will turn out really nicely, and I absolutely adore this color. It is a peachy, pinkish, coralish, orangish color. I don't suit pink, and that is a big regret of mine because I love pink in a lot of different hues and tones, but pink is just not for me. I'm a blues and grays sort of girl. But in the summer I would like something a bit more summery, so I wanted to go a bit pinkish but not too pink, and I arrived at this decision. Ficolana Mercy comes in a lot of different beautiful shades, so I had no doubt that you'll find something that you like there. By the way, the name of this top is the Umbria Summer Top by Cookie the Knitter, who is a Korean designer. It's really beautiful, I really recommend it. And the last summer project I want to talk about is actually not a garment, it's an accessory. So I was in a Gregoria Fiber sort of streak. I was knitting another pattern of hers, which I'll show after this. And then I wanted to knit something summery. So I decided to pick a bag pattern. This is her Yvonne bag that she recently released. It is really beautiful with really simple, easy to remember lace pattern. The only thing that I dislike about this is the Judy's Magic cast on at the beginning. It made it really tight to work on for about 10 rows, but then it was okay. But the beginning was really painful for me. It was the first time I did Judy's Magic cast on. I think it wouldn't be a problem if you're a sock knitter who has worked with this before. But it was my first time working on Judy's Magic cast on. I did not enjoy it too much. But the result is really worth it, I think. It gives a seamless, beautiful bottom that cannot be achieved with any other cast on little thing, because this bag has sort of wavy bottom to it. The yarn that I used for this is a really cheap yarn that I got from my local Hobbycraft. So Hobbycraft in the UK is similar to like Michaels in the US, I would think. Well, I don't know for sure, but Hobbycraft sells mainstream yarns, mostly acrylic, really. But sometimes they do carry wool, and they would carry their own brand yarns, which are quite okay. So this one is one of their own yarns, actually. It's a 50% cotton, 50% bamboo, called Bamboo Breeze, and it's really cheap at only about £3 per ball. It's really soft, and I feel that the quality is really good, especially for the price. So I have no doubt that even on a budget you can find really natural and beautiful yarns. Anyway, it is beautiful. It's a bit splitty. Again, it's not something that we can avoid if we're working with a natural yarn like cotton or bamboo. I didn't have too much trouble working on this. It's just on hold right now because I needed to use the 3mm needles for something else, for this top actually. So I would go back to this soon. I'm thinking about what kind of handles I would like to attach to this. So the pattern tells me that I should do a sort of like a knitted top, knitted straps, I haven't got to that part yet, so I don't know. But I have concerns about whether the straps will stretch with time, whether they will be robust enough. So I'm really thinking about maybe attaching some leather straps to this. You know, like the Longchamp bags. I have a Longchamp filet bag, which sort of is like woven crocheted with the iconic Longchamp straps handles. But the thing is that in the middle, like in between those straps, there would be leather to strengthen the structure of the top of the bag. I don't know if I could do that with this bag. So aside from the leather straps, I'm also thinking about maybe a pair of bamboo handles would work well. I will let you know. In any case, I don't think this bag is for very heavy duty use. It is more of a fancy thing to carry around, maybe for a fancy picnic, fancy party on date night. But I do think it would be very beautiful. So those are the objects that I've been working on. I have a few other things that I'm working on, but I'll save those for another podcast. Oh, since I promised, this is the project, another project by Gregoria Fibers that I was working on. It's a massive cardigan called Bridget Cardigan. It's one of her newest patterns, and it is so beautiful. It's on quite chunky yarns, but you can't tell that it's that chunky. It's not stockinette, so it doesn't look like a quick project. It looks like an elaborate project because it is. And well, I think I will talk to you about this in the next episode because it's just simply too hot now to even hold this. But yes, I hope you enjoy this. I have certainly been enjoying this. So I'll do this again soon. Bye bye.